Has your mortgage recently skyrocketed and you don't know why? Well, to new homeowners and new investors, this may be something shocking that you may want to listen to, and even for people about to buy houses. So, what may have happened is because your interest rate can't go up once you've locked it in, is what's called an escrow shortage. And this is a shortage on your taxes and your insurance. Now, most people, even investors and homeowners alike, have it took out in their mortgage. Well, this calculation is done through the mortgage company and title company the first year based on prior taxes. Now, keep in mind when you buy a house that somebody maybe about 200,000. Some years later, you bought for 400,000. They probably wasn't paying taxes on a $400,000 house. So the first year, your taxes are relatively low. Your insurance may even be low, but after that first year, you may receive a statement from your mortgage company saying you have a escrow shortage. And escrow shortage, like I said, is related to taxes and insurance. Now, there's very little things you can do besides prepare for this. Even me owning 6 properties at this point, um, I forgot. And I got hit with a over $400 increase on one of my rental properties. Now, this could really kill a lot of people's deals and make people lose their house, especially homeowners that are on a very, fixed income. And $400 could be a whole week's check. So I want to break down a few things you can do, some of the things you want to look out for, and just a few options to consider. Got a few notes here, and just commonly, maybe $400 increases, maybe on the high end. It just depends on how expensive the house is, how your house is, your tax rate, and one of the disadvantages about, at least on the front end, about real estate investing, if that's what you're watching for, is you don't get a homestead exemption. So your taxes are definitely going to be higher than your primary home. So hopefully for people who just bought a primary home, you don't get a $400 increase like I did. So one thing you can do, the first thing I would start, if you do get this, look at your statement, make sure everything is correct, because these companies do make mistakes. They won't admit to the mistakes. They won't even look for them. So you're going to have to find them yourself. You could talk to your tax assessor if you feel like you've been improperly taxed. You can have them reassess the tax. That's always an option. The simplest first thing that you should probably do is you can call your insurance company, and that's actually what I did, and get a new quote, because if it went up significantly, there may be some better rates out there. I've come to find that insurances typically are the same. You got to watch out for deductibles and all kinds of stuff like that. There's better companies and there's worse companies. Do your research. But I've reached out after I noticed that my insurance increased like $500 a year. That's a pretty big jump. So I reached out to one of my insurance people, and they said that they could save me about they could save me about $500 a year on my current one that I just got. So I think I said that wrong in the beginning. My insurance doubled. But these people that I talked to recently, they said they can get it $500 cheaper than the double price. It still goes up either way, but $400 is $500 is $500. So to recap, you can talk to your tax assessors, make sure you're taxed properly, make sure you're getting all your exemptions, and then talk to your insurance company about getting a new quote. And don't just reach out to one. Get quotes from plenty. And a broker will search plenty, but it's not always the best deal. They have a system with preferred insurance. So, go different routes, check. So the point of making this video is that hopefully somebody watches this before this happens to them and they can either prepare for it. And I do have another investor that I will share in the, he's going to comment on this. I know he will. He says he has some input on this particular topic. Now, you can pay your insurance and your taxes up front and not have it taken out monthly. A lot of people, when they're buying new homes, may not have that money to be able to pay your taxes and insurance up front. It's always an option. I just always found it an easier way to do. In the future, I may reconsider that. I'm not exactly sure. But this is big because here, at least in my area, we have a utility company that is literally raising their rates trying to raise their rates about 15% a year. It's honestly should be a crime, but that is what it is. Some of the things, some of the higher risks of this happening is, of course, real estate investing, uh, inflation. New constructions definitely can be a big issue because sometimes I can't remember when I had a house built, the first year they tax on the land. And then after the first year, they can tax on the house and the land because they couldn't tax previously on the house because it wasn't there. So I think that's where a lot of people are getting really hit hard is some of these new houses where their payment may have been $1,600, and that was with the taxes and insurance of the first year, and then it might almost go up $600-700. It's typically new builds are not cheap anyway, so this is going to be a big jump, a big raise in value. So with the escrow account, like I said, it's a calculation of your title, not from your on your title. That you'll get your taxes and insurance. So ask questions about it. This is one of the things that, like, when they're saying, oh, come buy this house, your payments only be $1,800 a month. That's in the first year. So keep in mind that a salesperson, a real estate agent, everybody involved in real estate is there to make money, and you are the buyer. So look out for yourself. Don't take everybody's words for it. Some of the things that could happen is if you're adding $400 expenses for 12 months, I'm not going to even do the math on that, but that could put you so far behind you have to sell your house. With it being a new house, you may not have the equity to even sell that house. So then you could be upside down on your mortgage and you could be in a really bad spot. So just look out for this. And I will tell anybody, please buy a house. Even as a real estate investor, apartment investor, obviously I make my money through renters. And some people love renting, but I would always say I prefer buying. So if you have the opportunity to buy, please buy. So if you guys have any questions about this, if I missed anything, just go ahead and leave it in the comments. If this video has brought you value, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to see what I do with apartments or anything else in real estate, go ahead and check out this video and subscribe to the channel.